ready to hear some noise tonight. You're just seconds away from Let's Go Blues Radio.
No doubt about it, eh? You're listening to Kurt, Bill, and Jeff on Let's Go Blues Radio, the original St. Louis Blues hockey fan podcast. Take it away, boys.
Come on, St. Louis hockey fans, stand up and cheer. The Blues are back strong. This is our year. It's the Blues' turn now.
I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Yeah, it's the Blues' turn now. With that Al McKinnon slap shot, you know we can't lose. We are St. Louis, the home of the Blues. Come on, St. Louis. Come on, St. Louis. Come on, St. Louis.
Let's do that hockey.
Come on, St. Louis. All over the hockey universe, the note is the news. Everybody's digging on the St. Louis Blues.
Welcome to Season 7, Episode 18 of Let's Go Blues Radio. We're coming to you live from my mom's basement on Wednesday, October 24th, 2018. This is franchise episode number 151 all time. And my name is Kurt Price, and I'm here with Bill Day and Jeff Ponder to interact with us or the show on social media. You can follow us on Twitter, where most of our interaction takes place. The show's handle is at LGB Radio. You can send us tweets, and we'll try and read them on the air. My Twitter handle is at Kurt Price. Bill's is at Billy Blue Note. Jeff's is at JPonder94. You can follow us on Instagram, LGB Radio, and you can like us on Facebook, which is also LGB Radio. If you want to talk hockey live with us on the show later, we can open the show up for listeners midway through approximately, and hopefully we can have time to do that. Please check out the letsgoblues.com shop and consider buying a reasonably priced shirt, mug, or sticker. All proceeds go back into the show. And we are getting ever so closer to the Stanley Ponder Cup Memorial Tournament.
So first of all, I'm echoing.
Why is it always you that echoes?
Because you set it to some crazy thing to play your music at the beginning.
I always change it back. Is it fine now?
Yeah, whatever. It sounds fine now.
Yeah, I always change it back. I just changed it. I changed it back after the intro, and then when you said you're echoing, I changed it and then changed it back again. And
well, that seems to be what works. So start doing that from now on, genius. Sorry, there's a little anger with this show. I think a lot of Blues fans would agree with that. It's just going to come out a lot. I want to point out that Kurt and Bill are at one end of Kurt's mom's basement, and I'm at the other, which is why it seems we're in different places if you're watching.
We can't stand to be in the same room with each other, so it's
No, because I'm the St. Louis, Missouri guy that's, bashing Illinois, and you guys are bashing St. Louis, so we just can't stand to be around each other. That's just how it is. The Ponder Cup. Let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah.
So the Ponder Cup is coming up pretty soon here. 3.5 weeks, something like that. November 17th. It's a Saturday from 2 until about 10 p.m. For those of you who have not listened to this show before and not heard me say this, we benefit Be the Match, which is for blood donor and a bone marrow donor. I'm sorry, I should know that. And Leukemia and Lymphoma Society of St. Louis. So two great causes that all proceeds go to. And then it's at Queenie Park at Midwest Sport Hockey. Sign-ups are open now if you want to play. Drop in STL.com. You go over to the 2018 SPMCT Tourney tab. And right now, I think there's 13 spots open. So we are getting close. Kurt, I know you mentioned you want to play, so you're going to want to sign up here pretty soon, I would imagine. Because I know I've had probably about 20 people say, I just haven't signed up yet.
I'm thinking about it. I mean, you guys may need a shootout expert, so.
We may.
I'm thinking about it.
Maybe we can just have you be a shootout guy for all 5 teams.
That'd be great, because I wouldn't have to skate during the games, and I could just come in, when needed.
There you go. Well, you'd probably get really drunk before the first shootout game, so that might not be a good thing.
That may help my game, though.
It might. But also want to mention, too, that we have raffles that are going to be going on. My sister is the one that mans that, and she told me tonight that she's going to make them online raffles. So if you can't make it down there, we will have them online as well. So
Wow.
yeah, look at technology. Pretty exciting stuff. So yeah, we've got a couple great items. Go over to dropinstl.com to check out a lot of the items I have up there. There's a Facebook page, event page, if you want to search for it there. It's an open invite to anybody. Lots of images of the stuff we'll be raffling off. Biggest thing that I've gotten so far, which I've already got a couple more things that are on their way, is a Connor McDavid Lake Erie Otters jersey, which is, you know what? I could show you right now if you guys want to see it.
I saw that. You posted it somewhere.
I did.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very cool. And then there's a like a Blues flag. We've got, I know there's a Tarasenko jersey on the way. So we got plenty of cool stuff coming. I think there's an Alex Pietrangelo signed puck. So really cool stuff. So yeah, if you want to have some fun, November 17th, Saturday, 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. at Queenie Park.
I can't believe you didn't mention the Bud Light Blues Dilly Dilly t-shirt. I thought for sure that's what you were going to lead with when you were talking the biggest thing you've got to date.
Yeah. The Dilly Dilly shirt is definitely bigger than the Connor McDavid jersey.
I like the dilly dilly. I'm in the minority probably, but I enjoy the I chuckle.
I think I've mentioned before that on my Sunday league, there's a team that their team name is Dilly Dilly, and I believe they're sponsored by Budweiser.
No,
and so every time they score, they all yell Dilly Dilly.
You know, if they were paying for my way to go, I'd yell Dilly Dilly when we score.
Oh yeah,
I would.
You'd pay to play instead of yelling Dilly Dilly.
Yes, I would. I have scruples.
What does it cost now to play in a men's league there, Jeff, per person?
Well, H&A is pretty high. It's 20 games, about $450. And then the Sunday, what?
Per person?
Yeah.
Jesus. When okay. Well.
You get jerseys, you get socks too. But yeah. The socks is what puts you over the top.
Yeah. Is for $5.50? Can you get Cooper also?
I would hope so. For $5.50, you better be getting Cooper also.
I'll look in for it for you. That sounds good. And then I know inline. I think that's at about $135 a session now.
Okay,
so that's not too bad.
That's not bad. When we played inline, it was about 80 to 100, something like that per session at Oak Hill.
Yeah, per person.
Yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Did I ever pay you?
I'm sure you were probably one of those guys that were like, okay,
I'll get you
playoffs start next week. You guys have 4 people who haven't paid yet.
Yeah, that was probably me.
Yeah.
That's why we still have 13 spots open for drop-in or for the Ponder tournament, because hockey players like to wait till the last minute to make the payment.
13 spots, huh?
13.
I'll probably sign up. I haven't played in a long time. It's been a while.
Get your ass out there on the Sunday skate you've told me about.
I know it's been they stopped playing. They play on Saturdays now.
Yeah. Well, they do a Saturday Sunday skate, but they've canceled the Saturday indefinitely.
Saturday?
No, I'm sorry,
Sunday.
The Sunday.
Right,
yeah,
right.
They are only doing Saturday now.
Right. I knew that.
Yeah.
If anybody would like Kurt Price to play inline hockey with them, tweet us.
Every other Sunday, preferably like 9 in the morning. I don't want to get up at 7.
Are you in need of a bad line change giveaway defenseman?
Everybody is, right? Well, except my team, because that's me.
Yeah.
Is that you talking about Bomeister, or are you talking about?
So real quick, I in my H&A league, we've got a guy who is actually a pretty good player, but he's only played drop-in. He's never played, like on a actual organized team. And so the first game, I'm not kidding, every single shift, he was our center. Every shift, when the other team was breaking in, he would go for a line change. And we're like, dude, no, that is the wrong time to go for a line change, especially as a center. And he caught some flack for it. After the first period, there was about 3 people in his face telling him, man, you can't do that. You're killing us.
Put that guy on a wing.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, he may have all the speed in the world, but if he's coming off on a break-in for the other team, that's Doesn't matter how much speed you have, you're crippling your team.
Must have a lot of faith in their goalie.
Oh yeah, Francie. Hell yeah. Listener of the show. Love you, Francie.
The official beer is episode number 151. Bill, I had a taste of yours, Bill, and it's quite good. What do you got?
I have a hint to a certain Blues defenseman. It is Father Time barrel-aged barley wine from Four Hands. It's a beauty. It's what do we got?
It's a beauty fish. It's a beauty fish.
It is 11.5 alcohol by volume, so it will probably catch up to me by the end of the show. Father Time catches up to all of us, and it is certainly caught up to a certain Blues defenseman.
So, yeah, for those watching on YouTube, I can hold the camera fairly close. Not really that close, but close enough.
Yeah, it is. It's quite tasty. I enjoy barrel-aged barley wines. The Friday the 13th from Excel is my other, go-to when it comes to this.
Are they going to get it? It's out there. Is it out this year? Are they?
Yeah, I think it was a spring release. So Randall's Fairview probably still has some.
Okay, because Friar Tuck's does not. I was looking the other day. They don't have any.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Cool. Four Hands too. Local stuff. Good stuff.
Yes, some things age better than others.
Ponder, what's your Jay Bomeister beer?
It is not I've been trying to think since Bill said that how I can relate this to Jay Bomeister, and I don't think there's anything there. I don't know. Let's go.
Record as saying I didn't say J-Bo, but
oh
my God, Bomeister. Sorry,
God forbid. What are you, Mike Yo? Don't want to offend anybody.
Well, yeah,
I want to hurt his feelings.
Okay, so
apparently that's really bad. Social media. If you're a Blues fan, you can't say anything negative.
Right.
Sorry.
True. That's true. No, I mean,
some people.
There are two acceptable players, I think, to call by nicknames, no matter who you are: Petro and J-Bo.
Yeah,
come on.
I wasn't denigrating calling him by his nickname. I just didn't want to call anybody out.
Oh, you said a certain Blues defenseman.
I did.
I see what you did there. Okay, well, I'm going to just call him out. I'm not talking about Jay Bomeister when I have this beer because I don't know how to relate it to him. But it's the New Holland Brewing Company, the Ichabod. It's a pumpkin ale. And as I said a couple weeks ago, the best ones are made here in St. Louis. But I saw this at Schnucks the other day, and I said, you know what? I'm going to give this a shot. First time having it tonight. It's got a weird, there's only one way of describing it. It's got a piss color to it. I mean, it looks like somebody literally peed in a can. That kind of turned me off when I saw that. But
like a pale ale?
Yeah, basically. And it's but it's it's weird. It's mixed. You can taste the spices, and you can really taste the nutmeg that they use in it, which is an interesting addition to this. Just seems like they added a little more than most people, and it's not bad. It's not as good as O'Fallon, but not bad. So if you're at Schnucks, great local establishment, give this one a shot.
I've got the Budweiser Copper Lager with the Jim Beam in aged barrels. So I had this on the show before? I don't think I have.
No, but yeah, Bone Tomahawk event you had.
Yeah, I did, and it's fine. It's better than regular Budweiser, and you can barely, you get a hint of the Jim Beam, but
just a hint,
right? And so my tie-in with Jay Bomeister is that this label actually says, do not drink alcoholic beverages while playing defense because of the risk of birth defects, which is weird. Consumption of alcohol beverages impairs your ability to play defense. So I really, maybe that's the problem.
Yeah. Maybe J-Bo got a case of those.
I don't know.
I'm sorry, a certain Blues defenseman.
No, too late.
J-Bo.
J-Bo.
Well, Aaron Knox helps me out here in the YouTube chat. Says, I mean, it kind of feels like J-Bo is just a pumpkin in the slot half the time.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. I was trying to think of something with it being called Ichabod after Ichabod Crane. Something about like a headless defenseman, but I'm not quick on my feet. I'm too dumb.
Yeah. You'd have to work on it, but I think you could get there.
There's something there. You know what? I'm going to sign off for the show, and I'll come on at the end, and I'll tell you guys what I came up with.
Okay. All right.
Good
All
job.
right. See you guys. Good show.
Yep. Jay Ponder with his best show of the season, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. So today in Blues history, courtesy of the @STL Blues History Twitter account, October 24th, 2008. 10 years ago today, Manny Legacy trips on the carpet laid down for Republican vice presidential candidate Sarah Palin, who dropped the ceremonial first puck prior to a game versus the LA Kings. Legacy left the game after the first period due to injury. Ben Bishop came into the game and made his NHL debut in the 4-0 loss. I remember that game well.
Yeah.
I do too.
Social media was all they shit all over themselves. That game was awful.
I remember when they announced, because I had, that was the year I had season tickets, and I went with listener of the show, Jason Miller, and he I'm probably the world's worst name dropper, right? Because I name drop, but it's nobody that anybody's ever heard of. So
Jason Miller.
Well, not you guys.
Yeah.
I'm saying anybody listening to the show except Jason and I don't know.
No, that's how he's known.
Crappy goalie on Twitter.
Right.
Crappy goalie on Twitter. That's true.
That's how he's known. Listener of the show, Jason Miller.
Yeah, listener of the show. So Jason and I went to the game, and I remember we were driving to the game together and just saying, "Wow, how many boos is she going to get tonight?" And then that happens.
It is
and
Missouri,
the boos just rain down because it was obvious. The minute Legacy came out, you could see, oh boy, what happened? He tripped on the rug, and Jason even looked at me and said, "Well, there goes the season." And yeah, that was awful.
It is Missouri though, so she probably didn't get as many boos as if Scott Trey would have been in Illinois, for example.
Oh Jesus, shut up! What is it? 2 miles from Illinois?
I'm just saying, Missouri's a blue state. I'm just saying
No,
they
you got
I'm sorry, Missouri's a red state.
Yeah.
So they probably supported Palin more so than Illinois would.
Yeah, you're right. They probably just would have chucked corn at her and potatoes.
That is Southern Illinois though, so over here, so it's
Yeah. We elected Mike Boss.
potatoes.
I don't know what the hell you make over there.
Corn, I'll give you corn, but
Corn and soybeans. Come on.
says the guy who has red clay dirt everywhere in this state. You dig down 6 inches, you get rock everywhere. Or is that just the Ozarks? It's just the Ozarks, I think. I love the Ozarks. I love Missouri. I love the Ozarks.
Okay, real quick, before we move on, you just mentioned that. When I lived in Dallas for 10 minutes, you know that there was people that I spoke with that didn't know what the St. Louis Arch was, but they had heard of the Ozarks in Branson.
Doesn't Dallas have an arch in their... They have an arch thing, don't they, in their city?
What? No.
Dallas does.
What?
It's an arch. It's a white arch thing. It's yes, they do. I've seen it it's somewhere. It's not as big as our arch by any means. But they have a white archy thing.
I have no idea what you're talking about, and I live there, my friend.
I'm gonna look up Dallas Arch.
I'm looking it up too.
There it is. Dallas Arch. It's called the Dallas Arch.
Oh, that's part of a bridge, right? That doesn't count.
It literally says Dallas Arch.
But it's just the middle of the damn bridge. That doesn't count. It's tiny.
That's what I was talking about.
Okay, well that's
things. It's
you can barely call that an arch.
It
I'd
says
say
arch placed on Dallas's signature bridge. So is that fact?
It's right off downtown. I'd say it's more of a curved line than an arch.
All right, you say tomato, I say tomato.
But yeah, I was amazed at the people who were like, "Oh, you're from Missouri? I love Branson." And then the conversation would continue. St. Louis Arch. What? What's that? How do you know what Branson is, but not the Arch?
That's weird. Who does the Arch? It's a gateway to the fucking West.
That's what I said.
All right.
Horseradish. Apparently, you guys grow horseradish.
That's Collinsville.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's all Collins.
Horseradish.
Collinsville's beneath us.
Well, yeah. They're the horseradish capital of the world, so they claim to be. I think another city in some other country claims to be that as well, but
And it's got to be in Germany.
might be. I've heard there's some sorts. there's a controversy.
It's the horseradish capital of the world, celebrated by the world's largest ketchup bottle.
Right. Call Guinness. Call Guinness. Oh man. Okay. So let's get into our topics of the show. Blues at Maple Leafs. It was a 4-1 victory. Fantastic game. Loved this game.
Hey, you know what else was a victory in this game?
Hmm?
You know what else was a victory in this game?
I was probably going to get to it, but go ahead. What are you going to say?
No Jay Bomeister.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. First line item here in the outline. Bomeister, a healthy scratch. First time in career. So, yeah, because of his subpar play and fans, as fans, we like to think we have, some influence. There's probably none, but, fans screaming for his benching or his scratching or whatever.
Waving,
retiring, retiring,
Taking out back.
yeah, drinking Budweiser Copper Lager. It finally happened. So the Blues played a good game. Whether that's a coincidence or not, we'll never know. Well,
no, we don't.
Blues got goals from Bortuzzo, Sanford, O'Reilly, and Barbashev. Barbashev's was an empty netter. And Allen stopped 22-23, played very well. Our power play went 0 for 4, but so did Toronto's. And that's one thing is that the Blues played the best game of the season, and their power play had been really good all season. And then the power play does nothing, and we played the best game of the year. It's kind of weird. But yeah, best Blues effort of the season. I guess there's no question there.
Yeah, absolutely. Going against the top offensive team that scored the most goals in the league coming into the game. My joke going into the weekend was over under set at 13, and
he missed it by a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, right?
Missed it by that much.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Touchdown.
Yeah,
just touchdown.
No, it was touchdown 2-point
5,
conversion.
6,
Yeah.
No, there was
All right.
5
Yeah,
against
give it
Winnipeg
5.
and
Right.
1 against Toronto.
13.
5 and 6.
Oh yeah,
13 minus 6 is 7. 13 minus 6 is 7.
Carry the
I know
one
that because I do simple math with my second grader.
times 7
I was so impressed
plus
by
4.
against Toronto that I was giving him a shutout for the game.
Gotcha.
So I failed to include that.
Yeah, I mean, let's not overlook the fact too that I'm not even getting into the Bomeister talk here, but Vince Dunn, we talked about this last week, moves up to the top pairing with Alex Pietrangelo, and I thought was a pretty authoritative first pairing. They look great, and then Schmaltz I thought had a great game. I think obviously everybody had a good game. They beat a team that, well, granted, they had just lost to Pittsburgh 3-0. And so we were going into that game. All three of us, I know, were probably thinking, oh boy, they're going to come out hot. And the Blues kept them cold. Toronto scores
Like
1 goal. Yeah, right.
Sandwich.
We, the Blues, the Blues hold, the Blues hold them to 1 goal, and that's 1 goal in 2 games for them, which is crazy, but it was warranted. I mean, Jake Allen played fantastic. The defense looked great. The forwards were back checking well. Pressure in the Toronto zone was phenomenal. Probably the best I've seen all year from this team. And they clicked.
Defensive zone coverage was great.
Yeah. They clicked. This is the most I've seen this team click. And I think everybody would agree that not just score withstanding, they just clicked all game. I mean, the passes were crisp. They were finding a way to get around the Toronto defenders, and they were creating opportunities for themselves. And that's just not something we've seen a lot from this team. But we kind of thought, hey, this is maybe where they turn the corner. But we'll get to that in a bit.
It was good to see Sanford get on the board with a nice shot. So yeah,
I love his game.
Yeah, I do too. I liked his game last year. It was unfortunate he got hurt. But nobody can complain about the game. It was a fantastic game. Everyone agrees that. I mean, you beat the team, the hottest team in the league. Granted, like you said, coming off the loss to Pittsburgh, but still, it was
right. You're
great
going,
game.
but you're going to that game, and it's Hockey Night in Canada,
Yeah.
Saturday night game
In their
Toronto.
building. Yeah, in their building. My God.
Totally expect to get blown out.
Sure. With the way we've been playing, but however, yes, that was the general consensus. However, I want to remind everybody what I said on last show, that I said I thought we'd win in Toronto. But
Yeah, you did. You called it.
So because I said, that's the way things go. The team that's struggling, that should be playing better, goes into a building of a team that's playing very well, and they beat them. There's just
Bill, will you walk around there and give him a pat on the back for me?
Sure.
Bill's not. No, he's got his headphones on. He's not. He's.
You don't actually have to do that. He's doing it. He's actually doing it.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's nice. What a nice friend.
All time somebody's done that.
Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, Bill or Kurt, you did call it. I mean, that was. I think everybody kind of went into that game. I mean, just looking at social media, people were talking about how the Blues are going to get slayed, and I mean, Bill made the joke about 13 over under, and I mean, I put that on Twitter and said, "What do you think?" And there were some votes for over, and push. So I mean, there was people who actually believed that within those two games that the Blues were going to get shelled twice.
Yeah, I laughed when Bill first said that, and then I paused. I was like,
Yeah.
That's maybe. If you had said 10, I'd have been like, "Ooh,
That's tough.
that's a tough
tough.
one. That's a tough one."
I did try to make it just a little
Ridiculous
stretch, a little absurd.
for the comedy factor.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. And to stretch and to make a point about the way the team is played. I get you. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
I'm glad somebody does.
So anyway, after that masterpiece of a game, the Blues went into Winnipeg, and the Jets last season had the best home record in the NHL. Smoked us in our own building 5-1 earlier in the season. So, or the season opener, I guess. So, and Bortuzzo was scratched for this game with a lower body injury.
Sent back to St. Louis.
Yeah.
For reevaluation. Second.
Right. So, because of that injury, Bouwmeester gets put back in the lineup. So,
I'm fine with that.
well, I was fine with that because of the. I was fine with that because
Right.
of Bortuzzo injury. Obviously, after the game in Toronto, you say no lineup changes. Why in the hell would you make a lineup change after that game on the road? Fantastic game. You don't make a change, but injury, obviously, you had to make a change. Okay.
So we'll get into his play in a bit, but what I did not what I was not okay with was throwing him on the second pairing. The guy and again, we'll talk about the minutes that he plays in a little bit. But when I first saw the pairings, I thought, so he's going from healthy scratch to second pairing minutes with was it Joel Edmondson he played with?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he plays with Edmondson. And I thought, and they even said on the broadcast where, the Blues are going to go with two lefties on their second pairing and then two righties on the third pairing. And it's like, why not throw Bouwmeester on the third pairing? Let the veteran play with the kid, Jordan Schmaltz, and see what happens. I mean, I didn't understand that move one bit.
I think the reason in hindsight is because that the plan to possibly put him on the top line with Pietrangelo would seem strange going from bottom pairing to top pairing. It'd be an easier adjustment to go from second pairing to top pairing.
That's probably true.
He knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing.
So what you're saying is you trust Mike Yeo not to try to pull a fast one on us.
I don't agree with a lot of the things that Mike Yeo. Well, not a lot of things, but he does a lot of things that I just like. What? So
Another point that we can talk
right
later on in the show.
So officiating was pretty bad in this game. I thought, well, not bad in a sense that they called a lot.
They called
The first two periods,
right.
First two periods, they called 10 penalties. And I was like, good night. And they called, and some of the things were like, really?
It was
Let them play. Come on.
ticky tacky.
It was.
Yeah, absolute the opposite of let them play hockey.
Yeah, it was. Look at me. I'm calling a one-handed hook. It's
Right.
like, come on.
Well, his stick got in on his hands and he fumbled the puck a little bit. So
I have never anytime my life of playing hockey that, and contrary to some people's belief, I have played hockey in my life. But anybody that has one hand on their stick, unless they got it twisted between their legs or something and it would trip me up, they're not going to hook me. It's hard to hook somebody with, unless you get it tied up under the arm or and is wrapped up in your. It's just.
gets caught cuff of the glove.
I don't even know. I don't even know how you hook somebody with one hand on your stick. But anyway. So first period, Blues got a goal in the first minute of the game from Ryan O'Reilly. But this was a fantastic goal from pass from Perron, 2-on-1.
Pass from Dunn set the whole thing up.
Right,
Dunn, who started the game where
on the top pairing with Pietrangelo.
He stood behind the net for 5 seconds waiting for the play to develop.
And
he didn't force the play. He let it happen, and he hit Perron with a perfect pass. Perron hits O'Reilly with speed with the perfect pass.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was a bang, bang, bang goal. It was great. And O'Reilly with a nice finish, which that kind of finish is something that this team, for some reason or other, there's some very talented scorers on this team, but that kind of goal is not the kind of goal you see a lot from this team.
Right.
It's the kind of goal you see against us.
Right. No, he didn't try to drag the goalie out of position. He made a move, chipped a backhander from 3 feet out above the crease. Beautiful goal. Absolutely beautiful goal. Gave Darren Pang, a couple of minutes to talk about the deranged curve on his stick. And
yeah. Which is weird, by the way. I mean, just for a second to talk about his curve. That is you would think that, and I always, when I see it, I think about it. I think, well, how is that not illegal? They've got that whole measuring illegal curve stick measuring guide thing. That his stick is a pretty straight stick, but then at the very end, it's like it's broken, like a 45-degree angle on the very last 2 inches of the blade or something. I was like, really? So it helps him on faceoffs, maybe, I don't know.
Apparently,
but it's not like he wins. Okay, but whatever works for him.
I mean, it's weird. It looks like a hook or something at the end. I've never seen anything like it.
It looks like a broken stick.
Well, and I think you got to figure that if the one advantage that I could maybe think of is if you're going to do a toe drag, it's probably much easier with that curve there at the end. But that's the only. Well, and if you want to shoot off your toe, that's probably a lot better too.
Well, your backhand is going to be
backhand suffers.
No, the backhand. No, if your blade is fairly straight, your backhand's gonna be fantastic.
Oh well, yeah, the blade itself is straight. I'm talking about right off there off the toe.
Oh yeah, no, right, yeah, and it's just the tip, just the tip, just the tip is broken, which is another podcast entirely.
Oh God,
it's the brother show of Two Guys No Cup.
Two Guys No Cup.
Yeah, there you go.
Just the tip. The Ryan O'Reilly.
That's for our friends over at the Two Guys No Cup podcast. That's the title of next show.
Yeah,
just the tip.
Starring Ryan O'Reilly.
Sorry, Ryan O'Reilly. Yeah, Ryan O'Reilly's blade. Just the tip.
So Ryan O'Reilly scores. I mean, aren't we going to hear something exciting, Kurt?
Oh yeah. Let me see. I didn't have.
You can't even cue yourself up.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I thought it was going to be, I'll write it. We'll do it live.
I'll write it. We'll do it live.
Yeah. I really hate the fact that his nickname is The Factor.
Oh, it's not it's not as, when did that come? Is that a thing?
Well, I don't know. Is it a thing with the players, or is it Pang? Because
I had never heard
the
that
whole
before.
thing. The other night in the Winnipeg game, he brought up the guy they call Swizzle Swartz. No, you're the guy.
Yeah,
the only one that calls him that, and it doesn't work. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, no, it's that. I don't want to get into it, but that's
out. I don't know who it was, but there was like, let's not let the factor be a thing. That's no.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into this too much, but that's why I watch the other team's broadcasts. that gets so into the Swizzle Schwartz and the gumption with Saboka. That stuff has always driven me crazy.
How great is it not
Little
to
guy
hear
with gumption?
Oh man, I hate that. How great is it not to hear the big Swede anymore?
Oh God.
The big Swede.
Back to the O'Reilly goal, though. I just wanted to say that, yeah, you said it, Kurt. That's the type of play that this team just has not produced this year, and you had to figure that was going to come with time. That they're going to figure each other out. They're going to know where each other's at. They're going to know the tendencies on break-ins, and this kind of goal is just going to start coming. So I like to think that's not the last time we're going to see it, and it's not, because later in the game we saw a pretty nice one from Perron in a similar play. And just a beauty shot by him too, but we'll probably get to that later. But yeah, I just thought, I thought it's a sign. It's hopefully a sign of things to come. I even said when they scored that goal, hey, you know what? Maybe they end up not winning this game, but at least we're seeing some pretty plays out of the Blues, and hopefully that continues.
Do you know what beauty fish means? I mean, what that's from?
No.
Jeff? Okay.
Yeah, I think that's
is that a my inner circle of friends kind of thing?
It is.
It's a Brian Regan. It's a Brian Regan joke thing. Part of the joke.
Yeah. Anybody who obsessed over and learned every line of the Brian Regan CD,
sure,
from the mid to late 90s, was
it? It was late 90s, yeah.
Late 90s.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, so
anyway.
We go from the excitement of the O'Reilly goal to Jay Bouwmeester on the second pairing. And immediately after the puck drop, the puck comes back into the blue zone, and Jay Bouwmeester gets 2 attempts at the puck. And within the span of 3 seconds, 2 turnovers. His first 2 touches of the game are turnovers.
And one was a bad one that led to a good scoring chance.
Correct. Blake Wheeler was allowed to walk down the slot, and Jake Allen made a good save.
Yeah, and and turnovers are gonna happen. I get it. Everyone has them from time to time. However, with Bouwmeester, just like Allen was to start the season, is under a microscope right now.
Mm-hmm.
Fans are going to be analyzing and watch. Oh, okay, he's on the ice. Okay, so let's pay extra special attention to see how he does. I'm sorry, that's the way it is.
Right.
You can't get around that.
That's exactly what I was doing. His first shift, let's see what he does. Oh, hey, look,
right.
2 touches, 2 turnovers.
Yep. And I found myself when Winnipeg would score goals in this game, I found myself double checking to make sure. It's like, yep,
he was up
Bouwmeester
there.
was on the ice again,
Yep.
just to see.
Well, I know that you kind of mentioned the turnovers after the O'Reilly goal, but the thing that, and I think I kind of mentioned this to you guys in our weekly chat that we have weekly chat, like we're Jeremy Rutherford or something.
By the fire, it's nice and cozy.
Yeah,
Very quaint. It's a quaint thing.
It's on the other side of Kurt's mom's basement.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
right.
It's upstairs.
Right.
It's in the den.
Yeah.
After mom's in bed.
Next to the parlor.
Yeah. But no, so we were, I think I mentioned on there, but the thing that drives me crazy about Bouwmeester, and I think he's always kind of done this, but since his rapid decline, it has been way more apparent. That first goal was at Scheifele, right? He's behind the net, bangs it off his skate in the net. You know what? I am fine with that happening if Jay Bouwmeester is not 2 inches from Jake Allen's face.
Right.
He
He's in
is constantly swimming in his own crease. And it's not just on goals against. I mean, if you haven't noticed it, watch next game. You'll see it every time that there's a guy in the corner or behind the net. Jay Bouwmeester is standing in the crease. And it's, what are you doing there? Like, people want to question, why isn't Jake Allen challenging shooters? How can he when Jay Bouwmeester is standing on top of him?
You know
It's
what?
annoying.
You know what the what bothered me about that play, maybe a little more than him actually being right on top of Allen, was the fact that pass was going to nobody. There was no one there to receive the pass. He was blocking. He was trying to block. His situational awareness if you want to get into terminology here, was poor because he didn't know who was around him. There was no one there in the slot to receive that pass. So they're basically centering to nobody. So all he had to do was do nothing on that play, and the puck just goes to the far boards, the near boards.
Well, and think about it too. If he's not in the crease there, that puck's not hitting him. It's jetting out to the center of the ice. It's not even touching him because it went right through the crease.
The pass was going to cross the top of the crease. That's where the pass was going, and there was nobody there. There was a player that was covered by two Blues players to Jake Allen's left, but the pass wasn't going to him. It was basically a blind pass out to the slot that nobody was.
Yeah, right.
Well, are you sure?
Positive.
Are you sure that it wasn't Scheifele knowing
Oh,
that Jay Bouwmeester's there and all he's got to do is throw it into the crease
Maybe.
and it's
That's
probably going to back in?
maybe.
It's possible.
I really respect Scheifele's game. He is a really, really smart player. And you talk about situational awareness. I think his situational awareness trumped.
I will give you that. That's
Bouwmeester.
quite possible.
Very possible.
That's a possible. That's a thing. Players do that. So
Yeah, I mean, Sidney Crosby's throwing it off goalies' heads.
bank it off a goalie's the back of their leg, bank it off a defenseman's skate. Yeah. So that's another reason not to be right on top of the goalie because there's just more stuff for the puck to bank. I think everybody was just kind of like, oh, he's having a great start to this game. Turnovers, puck goes off him and in.
Mhm.
Well, granted, we had a 2-0 lead because we skipped over the Maroon goal by who was it?
Parayko.
Yeah. So the work by Maroon and Steen in the corner, and the puck came up to Parayko, took a shot and deflected off of who deflected off of Morrow's skate.
Yeah,
and
Joe Morrow.
Yeah, and deflected on the ice between the just barely between the pad and the post. So lucky break, but we'll take it.
And it was a one-timer.
And it was a one-timer. It was not as hard a shot. It was on the ice. It was and Hellebuyck would have had it, but it deflected off a defenseman. And
didn't allow a lane to shut down.
Right. Exactly.
Released it
Quick.
right away.
Right. And Morrow pulled a Bouwmeester and it went off a skate in the goal. So basically you got two goals there that wash out. Okay. For example, the playoff Bouwmeester, the playoff Morrow, both off skates and in.
Yeah.
Okay.
But at least
right.
It's not Morrow's fault.
Right.
He was in the right position.
Yes, he was.
Right. And it's a faster play.
Right. Sure. And and then we talked about the Scheifele goal. So Blues lead 2-1 going into the second period. And the Blues got their 2-lead goal back when Dunn slammed home a rebound shot after Maroon tried to stuff the puck in on the far side on a wraparound, kind of a power play goal. Yep. Far pad save, puck kicks out to Dunn, who was pinching in, and perfect position, and slams in the rebound, which put the Blues up 3-1. So things looking good again.
Things are looking great.
Yeah.
So on this goal, I'm echoing again, by the way.
My God, what is it with you? It's always
I
you.
don't know.
Me.
How's that?
Okay. I'm still echoing. What did you do, Kurt?
I didn't do anything.
Good Lord.
Why don't you get out of mom's basement?
For those of you listening, tell us if you hear the echo. Hey, it's gone.
Yeah.
All right. So all that I was going to say was that Vince Dunn, before he scored that goal, he shot up the ice like he was catapulted, one of those things in the intermission things where you do the bowling. He charged up the ice. He was commanding the play. And listen, I'm not going to sit here and say that Vince Dunn deserves 30 minutes a night because he doesn't. And, some of his defensive game is a little lacking. So I'm not going to try and pitch this, that Vince Dunn's the second best defenseman on this team. But he looked like a guy. Let's play like this. When he was skating up the ice, I even said that guy is going to score a goal because he looked in control of his game and the game itself. And then he goes back out there, continues the play, and then he's in the right position after the puck bounces out to the slot, and he's there to slam it home. Everything about that play made me say, that right there is why Vince Dunn is an 82-game defenseman. And
Well, not this year.
no,
He's crashed 2 games.
and we'll get into I imagine we're going to get into late in the game, but he didn't see the ice for the
Right.
last 7 minutes of the game,
7+, 7.5, I think it was.
and which is insane. That guy was controlling the game when he was out there.
Well-
yet you're going to put somebody else who
And-
is awful out there.
Yeah, and we'll set the table for that. We're getting to that.
I know.
Very good. So yeah, Dunn scores, looking good again, 3-1 lead, and we go in the third period with a 3-1 lead on the road against Winnipeg. I'm not really comfortable with a 3-1 lead because we've blown third period leads in this season quite a bit so far, but we played really well in Toronto. We played pretty well in this game up to this point, so things looking good. But unbeknownst to the Blues fans, there was what's the word I'm looking for? Trickery going on in the locker room or something where Yo decided to switch things up defensively, which this boggles my mind. Blues are playing great. Why change too much? And he decided to switch things up defensively and sit on the lead, I guess. So he took Dunn off the top defensive pairing with Petro, which had been working well, and which, we on this show said we'd love to see that happen last week, and it did. And things were clicking well, but not well enough for Yo. Apparently, in the third period, he wasn't comfy with it. So he decided Jay Bouwmeester, who was healthy scratch last game, due to his poor play in the game before. So he decided to Bouwmeester needed to play almost half the third period on the top line with Pietrangelo. And like we just mentioned, he played Dunn sat, did not play at all the last 7:45, I think it was, or something. And Bouwmeester played 10 shifts in the third period, which is a lot.
But J-Bo was rested. He had a whole game off.
Oh yeah, he was rested.
He was ready to go.
But, yeah.
And so yeah,
Immediately, the Blues blew the 2-goal lead by allowing 2 goals in the first 4 minutes of the third period.
right.
Bouwmeester was on for both of them.
And the first goal, Jeff talked about this just a few minutes ago. When Jay Bouwmeester's on the ice, he doesn't give Jake Allen space. Jake Allen plays deeper in his net. Terrible. I thought this was absolutely terrible on Jake Allen's part to give up the goal by a Sherratt. Point shot. Jake Allen is standing on his goal line when the puck is at the point in his defensive zone. That is absolutely terrible goaltending. But, because of this show, the theme of this show, we're just going to go ahead and say it's because Bouwmeester was on the ice.
Because and to be honest, if you blame Allen for a goal, like social media just lights you up. So
yeah.
God forbid
Yeah.
a goal be, somewhat on Jake Allen.
Right. And I, from that point on, I was watching every shift where he was positioned, and he was always either midway through the crease or back to the goal line. He was not challenging, and the thing that he was doing well in the game up in the Winnipeg game and in the Toronto game before that was challenging shooters. He was out at the top of the crease, and he was making himself bigger. But then his confidence gets rattled. Jay Bouwmeester's out there. He's playing deeper in the net. There's some odd correlation there.
You know what's funny about it is that, well, not funny. This isn't funny at all. But they've blown third period leads in 6 of the 8 games this season. That's terrible.
That
Awful.
that
That gets
that's
coaches fired.
yeah, it's spiraling.
And this one was a 2-goal lead. I mean, against a divisional opponent. A number of these games have been against divisional opponents. So I mean, there's only so much of that you can take. You just cannot keep going to the well where you're like, oh, we blew another third period lead. How many times during the season do you hear that, oh, well, a team leading going to the third period, they're 32-1. It's like, wow, the Blues they've lost how many leads in the third period? So I'm disappointed in this trend of not being able to hold on to a lead in the third period. I'm disappointed in the comments from the team that says they're scared to lose, or they're doing what they're like getting the yips in the third period or whatever. I don't know. Granted, Winnipeg's a tough place to play. They're a fantastic team. I get it, but you know what? God damn it, the Blues are a good. They're supposed to be a really good team too. You got a 2-goal lead. It is the most dangerous lead in hockey, though.
Yeah.
Thank you, Darren Pang.
Yeah, you did. They did have that going against them. It's like, oh my god, 2-goal lead, third period, it's over. It's done.
And so they give up the lead, and immediately thereafter, David Perron snipes one off the post, restores the lead.
Yes,
it's beautiful.
I was like, okay. I was like, great. Okay, we blew the lead, but okay, we recovered. This is
were
good.
Resilient.
Yes, they bounced back. They got it back. It was a great shot. Nice play, off the post, in. Great. 5 minutes to go. Okay, we got a goal lead. They're gonna pressure, but we got a lead. 5 minutes to go. And then Sammy Blais decides to forgets about icing, basically.
So what does it say about the accountability of the team? It's a controversial icing call at best. He was there. I think
he was like
there.
a couple feet.
Right.
It was like a foot or two. I mean, granted,
when he starts his motion, but by the time he gets to Patrick Kane in the Chicago game, I think it was Kane. He was given 3 feet.
Are we gonna play that card now, where the superstars get the
Why
benefit of the
not?
doubt?
What I'm talking about though is let's talk about the accountability and yeah. So
Because now you sound like Rivers.
Oh, fuck you. so now I'm mad.
Oh, Bill's getting angry.
So go back to my point. Blais makes a controversially bad play. He was awesome in the preseason. I didn't expect it to flow over. He was kept up with the team. He's been mediocre at best. But now he's back down in San Antonio. He was sent down today.
Yep.
But Jay Bouwmeester is the first guy that's back in the lineup. There again, I've talked about this going back to the Hitchcock days. The bias against younger players on the coaching staff just drives me insane.
And I think, and we talked about that before, about how a lot of coaches do that. It's unfortunate, but it seems like when you have some of the talent the Blues do, the young talent, that up and comers, the blue chippers, your Thomases, your Kyrous, you want to see them get more of an opportunity with better players, and Kyrou got that. I mean, I've enjoyed his play. But so maybe, and so with Blais going down, so I guess maybe Thomas plays, or
right. The lineups in practice today was the fourth line was Barbashev, Kyrou, Thomas.
Yeah, and they also the option of what's his face,
Sundqvist.
Yes, which I'd rather play Thomas.
Right.
That also means that fourth line is going to get about 6 minutes.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. The other, the contextual part of the game against Winnipeg was how much of it was played. More than 50% of that game was played, man advantage for one team. It was not an even strike game because of the ticky-tack bullshit calls that happen all fucking night. So right away, you're going to limit Thomas and Kyrou's ice time.
So getting into the coaching a little bit, because I know we probably are wanting to get back into Bouwmeester too. Here's the thing. You hear about, I remember Todd Richards with Columbus back before they hired Tortorella. People are calling for his head because he wasn't playing certain players certain minutes. He had a problem with Ryan Johansson, and it was just back and forth. But they were getting results. and that was when they made the switch to Davidson and Kekalainen. And people were saying, well, you got to change the head coach. Todd Richards is winning games. At the end of the day, this is about winning. And so it was much easier to just say, let's just hang on to this guy until he falters. And obviously he falters just a little bit, and they say, okay, let's get our guy in here. Let's hire Tortorella. But I would understand that as a fan and as a media person, as somebody in management, whatever. But when you're when you're making these awful, awful decisions that everyone is disagreeing with, not just, and let's put, and I know that there's jokes about how soft the St. Louis media is, but it is kind of soft. And the fact that the media is coming out and saying, yeah, Jay Bouwmeester doesn't need to be playing. I mean, I've basically seen a lot of these guys say it. And it's just like, okay, it's not just the fans anymore. It's obvious this guy's a problem, so he's going to keep playing. Guys like Thomas aren't going to get the minutes that they need to prove what they can do. Same issues Mike Yeo saw in Minnesota. Again, if Mike Yeo's getting results, if they're 7-1-0 right now, okay, do whatever you're doing because the Blues are winning game. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. But they're not winning. There's a problem here. You're not getting the results. You're not, obviously, to anyone but Mike Yeo, you're making some horrible coaching decisions. And it's like, how much more do we need before we pull the hook here?
So I guess another thing we should talk about then is this on Yeo or is it on Mike Van Ryn? Because that's the point that JR made in his most recent athletic chat was Van Ryn's in charge of the defense.
Right.
But does Yeo should override that, right? That's my opinion.
Yeo's Van Ryn's boss.
Right.
Essentially. So I mean, sure, you can have a chat with Van Ryn, but I mean, ultimately it's Yeo's responsibility.
Right. Are you sure? Are you sure, rookie NHL level coach, that you want to put J-Bo back up top?
I tell you what, Bill, if I were to embezzle $300 million from my employer and my boss knew about it and did nothing, and then management found out, you sure as shit better believe that boss is getting fired with me. That's the way I see it.
So anyway, after the Blais icing, the Jets pulled their goalie because the Blues couldn't change. Bouwmeester was caught out there, and then they score with 1:40 to go and force OT, and then Trouba scores in overtime to win it for Winnipeg. So that was a frustrating ending to a game that, and I posted the game flow in our notes here, and you can't see it on the show here, but I find it interesting that the first and second period, the Blues are the game flow Corsi evaluation is quite favorable to the Blues for the entire first two periods.
Right. and
then as soon as Yeo makes a coaching change, and you know what, I'm sure it's not all just on Yeo with the Bouwmeester lineup change. Sure, Winnipeg's going to come with a push. You know, they're a good team. They're at home. They're gonna try and get back in it. They're gonna press. I get it. So, but that combined with it just makes Yeo look bad.
Why do you fix what's not broken?
Right. Exactly. You're making a change. The Blues are playing well. You make a change to try and sit on the lead on a team that is a very powerful team, and you're going to try and sit on this lead by making a defensive change. And moving a guy up to the top pairing that was just scratched for poor play. He was just scratched for poor play. It's not like Edmondson returned from injury and was put on the top line. We're talking about Bouwmeester, who has been ridiculed by fans for the last couple seasons for his poor play, and he was just scratched for his poor play. And now he's put on the top line with Pietrangelo and played 10 shifts in the third period. And Winnipeg scores 3 goals in the third. Came back from a 2-goal deficit once and a 1-goal deficit once. So that is completely, you can try and deflect the blame to Mike Van Ryn if you'd like to. I sure maybe it was his call at the time, but at the end it's Mike Yo's call. It's his team.
Well, and it's something that, I mean, you touched on that Winnipeg's a fast team that's going to come at you, and they're down by 2 goals going in the third. Let's not overlook the fact this is a fucking division rival. This is a team you're going to be jockeying for position with, well, at least you hope, at the end of the season. These points are extremely valuable. You can say all you want, points in October matter just as much as April. Well, I'll tell you what, divisional points matters more than anything. If you're not getting those divisional points and you're letting those leads slip away, those are the games you're pointing to in April when you're outside of the playoffs saying, yeah, that one got away from us. We would have won that one. We'd probably be in.
Right. And doesn't that kind of speak to Mike Yo's legacy? We've talked about this before. His best divisional performance is fourth,
fifth, fourth, whatever it is. Yeah, it's terrible. It's just his full season Central Division. When he's coached a full season in the Central, he's never finished higher than fourth, and he has a 5th place finish too. So it's just his track record is bad, and it's just not looking good right now. So for him, but going back to Bouwmeester and Yo, I guess. So here's the bullet points on Bouwmeester's numbers. He had over 20 minutes of ice time in the game, which was good for second most ice time on D behind only Pietrangelo. He was on the ice for all 4 regulation Winnipeg goals. Their first goal goes off his leg and in. He took a bad interference penalty due to his lack of speed, which we didn't talk about earlier. He was caught flat-footed, and he interfered with a guy who didn't dump the puck in, and it was interference. He got walked because he was caught standing still. He had a number of poor turnovers, including the one at the blue line early on that led to a good scoring chance. So not a good night. And Jeff Jones tweeted out that after the game, Bouwmeester played 2 minutes more on even strength than Pietrangelo did last night, which is just bonkers. Vince Dunn didn't see the ice in the last 7:41 regulation. Bouwmeester was on the ice for 4:20 of that 7:21. And he commented, that's coaching, that can't happen. And I think we're all in agreement. That's a very strange thing to do for a team that played very well with Dunn and Pietrangelo on the top pairing against Toronto, played very well in the first 2 periods with Dunn and Pietrangelo. Oh, we got to protect the lead against a division opponent in their building. We're going to bring up Bouwmeester because he's healthy now, because he's in lineup now. And it just, not saying that's what caused us to lose the game, but he was on the ice for all the goals and regulation.
But it caused us to lose the game.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's look at it this way too. Let's look at it this way. The fact that you mentioned it, Kurt, it's not all on Bouwmeester. I mean, obviously, you watched that third period. The Blues did not look like the same team that we saw in the first and second periods. But it's so I'm not going to say I do not agree. I don't subscribe to the fact that, oh, well, a coach needs to get his team ready for the third period. I think that's crap. These guys are professionals. They should be getting themselves ready. But when you can pinpoint this change was made going into the third period. They were up 3-1, and then they made a change, and then they lost the game in overtime, 5-4. You can pinpoint, when did the game start to collapse? Well, pretty much 2 minutes after Jay Bouwmeester went back to the top pairing. I mean, that is not good aesthetics for Mike Yeo. That looks awful on him, as well it should, because you don't need to be making any sort of change. And I think that even to the team, whether, I don't know what was said in the locker room, and we'll never know, but when you're moving Jay Bouwmeester back up to the top pairing, as a player, to me, that would tell me, okay, guys, we're sitting on the lead. You know, don't go after it. Don't go and try to get a goal, because we're going to have Jay Bouwmeester out there trying to play defense all night. Vince Dunn's not going to be carrying the puck at all.
Why is Jay Bouwmeester all of a sudden this defensive stalwart? This fantastic defenseman. Who sees this? I mean, okay, if you want to, okay, I get, maybe you can make an argument for him being on the second pairing. Maybe. I disagree with it, but maybe you can. But the top pairing in a divisional game in the third period, we're trying to hold a lead? Come on. If you're going to move somebody at top line, move Edmondson up there or something. Don't move Bouwmeester up there. It's
Right.
just ridiculous.
Right.
Literally the last person I'd move up.
Yes, exactly.
And again, why are you trying to fix something that's not broken?
Right. And Edmondson was paired with Pietrangelo last year. It was a good pairing.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? If you're going to play them half the period,
if you're going to
do that pairing.
Right, absolutely.
But I would love for these press conferences to kind of just focus on this stuff. I mean, a question's asked, he glazes over it, and then move on to something else. It's like, come on.
Okay, so are we ready to go there to talk about today's Yo's comments in the press today?
All that I want to say before we get to that is I posed the question to you guys, and you were kind of him-hawy. You weren't sure. A couple episodes ago when we had the season preview show, and Jay Bouwmeester was on the top pairing with Pietrangelo because the reason was because Joel Edmondson's out, Bortuzzo was suspended. It was kind of a necessity thing. And I said, this to me spells bad news. You're not putting anybody else up there because that means every chance Yo gets, he's going to put Bouwmeester back on that top pairing. And you guys kind of agreed, hopefully that's not a sign of things to come. But it was. And the fact that everybody, I mean, I'm sorry, Doug Armstrong is a strong hockey mind. As much as I have disagreed with many of the moves he's made, he has got to be sitting in his office going, what is this guy doing? You can't play him on the top pairing.
Not in the third period. And like Bill said, trying to fix something that's not broken. It just adds more mind-boggling on top of mind-boggling. It's just because to make that change and then to have it fall apart just makes Yo look that much worse. I don't. Right. So Lou Korak posted Yo's comments on Bouwmeester, which, if we weren't upset enough already, there's this Yo deflecting and looking the other way, and basically, I guess I get what he's saying because he's sticking up for his player. He's not going to call him out publicly, I guess. All right, whatever. But as a fan, it's just annoying to hear this because it's like, really, you could have said something a little different, but yeah. So Yo on Bouwmeester, yeah. Am I concerned? No, I'm not concerned. He missed a lot of time. If he's playing like this 3 weeks from now or a month from now, I think it's unfair just to pin it on him. Obviously, the PK goal bounces off him. That's a tough bounce, but I thought he did a lot of good in the game too. I understand he's probably a little bit of lightning rod right now. That's the reality, and that's the world we face in pro sports. When you lose hockey games, they ask why, and when you win hockey games, they ask why. Well, no shit. There was a lot of good in this game, and he had missed an awful lot of hockey time. When he's on the top of his game, he's a real strong defender, and he's a guy that adds a lot to our group. I'm not concerned right now. There's two things. Two things there. Two things. Either he believes this, he can't believe that, or he's just trying to stick up for his player. And I have to believe it's the latter.
Yeah.
Although nobody after watching that game can say, if Dunn was on for all 4 goals against and had the exact same game he had, he'd be scratched for a couple games.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If he believes that, if he honestly believes that and isn't just sticking up for his guy, Doug Armstrong should have pulled him aside after that and said, "You're gone. You can't evaluate hockey talent at this point in your career. It's impossible. You're gone."
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you. And okay, I get it. Like you said, Kurt, he's defending his player. I'm sure Korak or whoever it was that asked that question, what'd you think of Bouwmeester's play last night? I'm sure it's a gut reaction to just say, hey, he's fine. I know people don't like him, but he's been fine. I get that. But he calls out the PK goal bounces off him. That's a tough bounce. How about the fact that he's standing in his goalie's fucking crease? How about the fact that he is completely out of position on that play? Yeah, it's a tough bounce. Pucks go off me all the time. And it's called pulling a ponder in my leagues, by the way. But, it's never because I'm in this position that I'm putting myself in. And again, I'm a crappy men's league player. I don't mean to compare myself to Jay Bouwmeester. He's 10 times the player I am, but
Just 10?
like,
Yeah.
okay, 1,000 times better the play I am. But he is. You've got to have better. And you mentioned it. The awareness of what's going on around you.
Situational awareness.
Situational awareness. Yeah. Sorry, I'm on a tangent, and I can't think of the words too quickly.
Take breath. Situation.
I'm so mad. But no, I don't like his quote at all. I mean, again, I know that he's standing up for his guy, but he went into a little bit too much detail for me to believe he's just standing up for his guy.
Yeah, I mean, it just really adds fuel to the fire for those fans that or those people in general that kind of want Yo gone.
They're not fans though, because fans are always positive.
Right. That's not not. I think we can all agree fans are always positive. But I know what you're saying. Yeah, no. And let's see, we got some comments in the YouTube chat. Let's see. Oh, Ray said, I almost forgot about the show tonight. How late am I? And I said, you're so late, you might be pregnant.
Been there.
Ray said the Rivers Josie is dope, Ponder. So yeah, Rivers is Ponder has a Rivers jersey in the background.
Yep, and it is signed by Mr. Rivers.
Wow.
Just a friendly call out to our friends over at the Blues NHL podcast.
The rich and connected Jeff Ponder sporting his he's got jerseys at will just to post. Oh, yeah. We got a story about Rivers later. We can put the jersey in the background.
I actually stole jerseys from the Blues locker room, so you'll see a new one every week.
He'd steal them and have them sign them and walk away.
This is for a kid.
Yeah, next week is your Chepa Turkin.
I wish.
Oh, let's get the Ray says, let's see, it's a good way to piss your players off. He also says he's literally thrown himself under the bus for Bo. Yeah. Aaron Knox says, what good did he do though? J-Bo is the hill Yo will die on, which it almost seems like he's setting himself up for that.
Right. That is an excellent point, Aaron. It's sad too. I mean,
yeah.
Are you that stubborn that you can't adopt new ideology that maybe players have gotten to a point that they're not effective anymore? And there is actually there's more benefit to taking a risk with a younger guy, and maybe there's actually less risk in going with the younger guy than going with the guy that can't turn a radius within 30 feet anymore because his hips hurt too much.
You just scratched him for poor play. Granted, he scratched Dunn too for 2 games, but still.
But Parayko didn't get scratched for his gaff in Montreal.
No, he didn't. Well, you can't scratch everyone when they make a mistake. I mean, you just can't. You got to pick.
Only young guys.
Only young guys.
Only Vince Dunn.
Yeah.
No, it's so frustrating. I mean, Bill, you were the biggest critic of Ken Hitchcock, and Bill or Kurt and I were kind of lukewarm. That was always your biggest complaint. I think we're seeing it. I don't know. Maybe it's hindsight's 2020, but I think we're seeing it worse with Yo. I mean, this team, we're basically promised, hey, we got some young guys coming up that you need to be excited about. But you know what? Every time they make one tiny mistake, they're going to sit. If they're not scoring goals, they're going to sit. If they're not Jay Bouwmeester, if they're not 80 years old playing on a walker, they're going to sit. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yep. And you don't get the red line, or possibly don't get the red line, and
Right.
you're back in San Antonio.
So other Blues news here. Nice segue. Blay was sent down, probably due to the icing call versus Winnipeg.
Partly due, but he was.
Yeah.
I'm not
right.
trying to defend Sammy Blay's play. He has been pedestrian.
He's had a few moments, but where he's had some scoring chances, but other than that, it's been like, I have no issue with that at all. But
I've actually been shocked that it took him this long to send him down.
Yeah.
Not that I think he deserves to be sent down for a long time, but with what we've seen from this team, I'm just surprised that shakeup wasn't done weeks ago.
Fabry is going down to San Antonio to likely play a minimum of 2 games.
Yep. Played tonight, scored a goal.
Did he?
Scored a shorthanded goal.
Scored
Ooh, a
a
shorty.
beauty of a shorthanded goal.
So he'll be killing penalties up here.
Yeah, we'll see.
Possible return next Thursday versus Vegas. Who is not out of the gates very strong this year.
No, they're not repeating.
No, they came back down to earth a little bit.
Yes.
They look like what we thought that team would look like last year.
They are who we thought they were. Bortuzzo is getting a second opinion on his lower body injury and will not play tomorrow versus Columbus. And Sundqvist will be available to play versus Columbus tomorrow if they decide to put him in the lineup, which based on practice lines, I didn't see them today, but he's not in the top 4 lines.
No.
No word on who will play on the 4th line and if Robert Thomas will return the lineup officially yet. So, and Shoshnikov is close to returning, so he may go down to San Antonio soon for conditioning, I guess. So,
I think he's a guy that can be very liked by Blues fans. He plays a hard-nosed game. We saw a little bit of it last year, but Sashkinov, yeah. But I have got to say that I am so nervous about him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost every 5, 6, 7 games he's out with an injury.
is he married? Does he have kids?
I have no idea.
If he has kids, I'm like, dude, retire.
Yeah.
You're getting your head, you're getting a concussion every half dozen games. It's like, just retire.
Right.
I mean, I know it's hard for these guys to admit when it's time to hang them up, but I mean, when you can't take a hit without getting hurt, it's like, man, you got to think about the rest of your life.
Right. And that was the knock when the Blues got him, was he couldn't stay healthy, and it was all head injury.
Yeah, it was concussions.
And he played 3 games with us before he goes into the corner and takes a headshot and is out. Yeah.
Ray says he thinks Soshnikov scored the other night for San Antonio, but I could be wrong. I don't think he's playing with them yet.
I think he was sent. I want to say he was sent down, but yeah, I don't know if he's played.
I could be wrong as well. I'm not sure if I read that yesterday or when. I'm not sure.
I'm going to look it up now.
So the Blues play Columbus on Thursday, tomorrow night. They start a 7-game homestand, which is rather rare. My God. And some people have said this is kind of a make or break stand for Yo. If they play shitty on this homestand, what happens? If they go like 2-5 on this homestand, what happens?
I hope he's gone. I mean, I hope that I want this team to win. I don't think he's the guy to do it. And I hope that they use this homestand as that barometer, because you can't get to Thanksgiving and this team be middling.
Right.
Soshkinov is in his 3rd game tonight, and he has scored a goal.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Ray. That was I thought I had read something yesterday that he was going to be sent down, but I guess that was more than a day ago. Yeah. So
with the homestand, I think you could see it mid homestand. Honestly, I think if this team goes 0-2-1, 1-2-0, 1-3-0, I think you could see a move. I mean, we've talked about it before. Yeah, again, we don't agree with every move Doug Armstrong's made, but there's one thing that he's not, and that's not a guy that sits on his hands. He sees a problem, he's going to try to find a solution.
Right.
It's Columbus tomorrow, then Chicago on Saturday, then Vegas, then Minnesota. Those are, I mean, those are some, and Carolina on Tuesday, and San Jose, and then Minnesota. So there's not a lot of cakewalks there either. So I mean, those are some the division games with Minnesota and Chicago.
You've got to start winning those. You have to. I mean, at this point, they almost have to win out their division games the rest of the year.
If
They've dropped so many points to divisional rivals.
Right. If we're talking on next week's show about another overtime game against Chicago, that can't happen.
Yeah.
They need a regulation win against Chicago. They need a regulation win against Columbus
and Minnesota. I mean, those divisional games. I mean, I'm tired of the third period collapses. I'm tired of the overtime losses. I'm tired of Tarasenko being a non-factor.
Jeez, he's been just pedestrian, terrible.
Yeah. I mean, you see him around the goal, and he's had some assists. He's got 6 points, but his he hit the post on a beautiful setup by O'Reilly the other night.
Yeah,
which he should have scored on.
Right, and they're trying to put him in a position to succeed. They're changing up the lines. They're putting him with Schwartz and Shen, and they're really as much as you like to have a solid veteran third line, there is no speed on the Bozak, Steen, and Maroon line, and that worries me, having those three guys together. And I think the only reason that they're together is because they need to get somebody with speed with Tarasenko, and Maroon wasn't doing it.
I mean, as much as I hate to throw this out there because it's a reminder of Yori Laterra wearing a Blues jersey, why not try? I mean, he had a little success there with Laterra. Why not give Tarasenko and Bozak a couple games? Now, it hasn't worked so far. Might as well try something else new.
Tarasenko at one point in recent history was the best player on this team. He is no longer, not even close. The best player. He hasn't been for a while.
Braden Shen, Ryan O'Reilly are the two best players on this team right now.
Yeah, if you count this season, Pietrangelo is not even close to being.
Schwartz has had a rough year.
Yes, he has, and that's part of the problem too. He's been invisible almost around
neither Schwartz nor Tarasenko have moved their damn feet.
Schwartz is usually a puck thief. I haven't seen that from him this year. I haven't seen him swipe the puck and go the other way. I haven't seen Tarasenko let his shot go from the right side. It's just, I mean, and when Tarasenko does get chances, he has 2 goals in their one game against Chicago. So aside from that one game, he's put up some assists. He's made some very nice passes, but as far as goal production is concerned, it's the same old story. His shots taken too long to get off, and he's been stick checked a lot. And I know the last game they gave against was it Winnipeg, I guess. The shots he did get off, he was around the net. He was there. He had some chances, but they were all like dribblers because his stick would get checked or get checked when he shot, and his shots were just ineffective. So I don't know if it's just a not getting his shot off quick enough or not
being in the right
gap
position. Right.
His separation is not what it needs to be, and he's from the defense, and he's not finding those open spots. So maybe it'll come around. Maybe his shoulder's still bothering him. I don't know.
Well, and we've talked about the one-timer situation and how it's kind of a team-wide problem. It's not just Tarasenko, but he's the glaring one because he's the one that you want shooting the puck every time it's on his blade. But the issue that I see with him not taking one-timers well, you look at a guy like Alexander Ovechkin, who a lot of people have compared Tarasenko to, which I think is an unfair comparison, but nonetheless.
It's because they're Russian. It's the only
probably reason. Russian right wingers.
Yeah, it's the only reason.
But yeah, I mean, I think if he could just even just a quick cradle and shoot. When Ovechkin's in a slump, what does he do? He one-times the puck every goddamn time he touches the puck, and eventually he works himself out of that slump because teams can't react. I mean, you can say, oh, just put a guy on him, you'll be fine. He's going to find a way to get open, and the minute he's open, he's going to get a pass on his stick. He's going to one-time it. It's going to beat the goalie. That's the type of player he is. That's what I want to see from Tarasenko. Every chance he gets, if there's any lane to the net at all, fire the puck. Get yourself out of the slump. Get some confidence. and start being the guy that everyone knows he can be. He just has not been there for 2 years, if you ask me.
As far as Yo is concerned, Paul Tadrick in the YouTube chat says they can't wait as long as the Cardinals did with Matheny, which I think that's a fair statement.
I think so too.
Too long with Matheny to let him go.
Right. So the equivalent for the Blues waiting too long with Yo as the Cardinals with Matheny, December.
Yeah, I think if they're playing the same way if their first 8 games, whatever it's been, if they continue to play at that level into December, that's a problem because that's another over a month.
Right. Armstrong's got to make the call,
and
by
that time it's too late. It's too late. If they're
second week in November.
Yeah, if their record is proportionally the same as it has been the first as so far, it's too late. We're not making the playoffs. If it's, I mean, they're going to be. It's a terrible record come November.
So
come December.
The thing that I see playing into the decision is we're expecting Robbie Fabry back, and we want to see what he brings to the team before we make that decision.
Maybe. What's the teams that are in the playoff position on November 1st?
It's 25 games, I think.
I thought it was November 1st.
And the Blues were the exception to the rule last year.
Right.
It was at the 25 game mark if you're in a playoff position. 90.
I thought it was November 1st. That was a date.
Yeah.
Well, either way, there's a certain point in the season where if you're not in a playoff position, the chances you make the playoffs are not good. Not good at all.
What a goal.
So for people out there saying, oh, it's still early in the season. Yeah, it's still pretty early right as of today. But a couple weeks from now, it's not going to be. It's going to be, we're going to be getting close to that point where it's like, okay, and that's not that far away. I mean, if you just based on numbers, based on history, so people are saying, oh, it's still early. And, you know, we're getting 1 point here, 1 point there. It's a moral victory kind of a thing. I hate the whole moral victory. At least we got a point thing. When you blow a lead in the third period, blow a 2-goal lead in the third period, those comments need to be reserved for when you are down by 2 goals in the third period and force overtime and lose.
Right.
That's you can say, okay, at least we got a point. We were down. We're fortunate. It's a moral victory. We got the point. No, you don't say that when you had a 2-goal lead in a third period and then a 1-goal lead with 5 minutes to go and blow it. You don't do that. That's just I don't know what that word for that is, but it's just wrong.
It's called pissing points away.
It's pissing points away. And the same comment was, oh, well, you know, you can't be upset for 1 point because we missed the playoffs by 1 point last year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, we did. And we're blowing points right now. We have a number of points already. So those points may come to bite us in the ass later. I think people are looking at it too optimistically. And I'm one of the most optimistic people you'll come across. I really am. But I'm also a realist about some things. And this trend needs to change. I'm not it's fine. We'll be okay. Not if things keep going the way they do, and they're not going to be okay. The playing Bouwmeester on the top line and that ridiculousness has to change. This team, if Bouwmeester's on the top line for I don't know half the rest of the game, first he's going to get hurt. He's not going to make it, and second, the team's not going to make the playoffs. You can't go to the playoffs with Bouwmeester on top line. You can't do it.
So this is something I've said about pro sports that drives me crazy, and college sports does it too. I feel like a lot of times teams go into seasons saying, and perfect example would be the Cardinals, saying, yeah, there's a good chance we're going to fire this guy or we're going to demote this guy this year. You pretty much already know you're going to do it, so just do it.
Yeah.
Like, what are you waiting for? With the Cardinals, it was, they came up with the press conference that Matheny was on probation last year or whatever that bullshit was. It's like, you're going to fire him within the next year. Just fire him. Just do it. You're going to get it out of the way. And I feel like, and now they haven't said anything here, but I feel like just watching the play of Bouwmeester, watching Mike Yeo scramble for points with this team, I feel like the consensus is pretty much, yeah, Jay Bouwmeester's probably going to be a healthy scratch most nights. Bouwmeester might get sent down to the AHL, and we might fire Mike Yeo. If that's the case, just fucking do it. What are you waiting for? I mean, there has to be at least that thought in the back of the mind to Doug Armstrong right now.
Bouwmeester will never play a game in the AHL.
Yeah, no,
He's not going to.
Yeah, no,
He will retire.
Well, then see ya.
Yep.
Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out.
But I think the extra hurdle when it comes to Yo is that it's the Doug Armstrong, the ego thing. He did the unorthodox thing with hiring Yo as the coach in waiting to Hitchcock, and he's gonna have to ultimately, when he fires him, he is admitting that was not the right thing to do. In my opinion, Kirk Muller was the right thing to do, but we couldn't do that.
Still could. He's not a head coach.
He is an assistant coach in Montreal.
I know.
He had to be pissed when they when they didn't promote him, right?
Yeah.
Right, and that's why he left the organization.
No. I meant Montreal. Wasn't he there when they hired Julian?
No. He came back. He was there when Carbonneau. He was an assistant coach under Carbonneau, and they didn't give it to him, so he left and came here, and was going to learn under Ken Hitchcock. And he left here when they wouldn't give it to him here. And Dallas wouldn't hire him. I don't know. Maybe there's something flawed with him, but
so I guess he can speak French, because that's the only way Montreal would hire him.
well, maybe that's why they won't hire him.
Maybe.
He played there. He was the captain there. He's got to speak French.
That's what I think too. Yeah.
You know who I want as head coach?
Mike Van Ryn.
No. Sheldon Keefe, the Toronto Marlies head coach. Supposed to be a forward-thinking coach, better with the younger kids, and advanced stats guy kind of person. So
We talked about him last week with the apple juice guy.
Yeah, I like him.
Aaron.
I've not seen. I've from what I've read about him, I think he's very intriguing as an option. So I think that would be a interesting look.
Yeah.
So
I'm all for it.
Too
progressive.
For Doug Armstrong, I think.
Yeah.
Progressive.
Well, you know what though? I mean, that's kind of the way the league is going to go.
It should. I hope it does.
Yeah. No, and we'll be late to the game with that. He'll get scooped up by somebody and might do well somewhere, and we'll be like, "Oh, we need to get a guy like that."
we convinced Ken Hitchcock to come out of retirement. He's 75 now.
You could have had a guy like that by hiring that guy. Ray Standeffer says on the YouTube chat that Braden Shen is a machine. Always know what to expect from that guy. Not going to disagree at all. He also says that, and I want to hear you guys' thoughts on Ivan Barbashev, showing a lot of character, buying into his role, and playing so consistently right. So I've been.
He's right. Yeah. I mean, I haven't missed Kyle Brodziak at this point in the year.
Yeah.
He's played a very solid fourth line center.
You know, he reminds me of. I mean, there's a couple guys that come to mind, but those guys that play on the bottom lines but still have hands, like Michel Picard comes to mind. That's a very obscure reference.
Yeah.
And then Stan Drulia, I think was his name, with Tampa. I mean, there's been these guys, you know, they can pot 10, 15 goals, but they're going to also play solid defensively, solid in their own zone. They're going to cycle the puck in the offensive zone, which is really at this point in the NHL what you're looking for from a fourth line player, is just keep the puck out of your zone. And yeah, I mean, I've said this before. He was drafted the same year as Robbie Fabry. I was at that draft, and I was really hoping the Blues were going to pick Barbashev with the Fabry pick. And when they took Fabry, I said, oh man, there's no way, because that was the year they got the Perron pick from the Perron trade to Edmonton. I think they had number 33. And I was like, there's no way Barbashev's going to fall. And when he fell, I was excited. I'm like, dude, that guy's going to be better than Fabry. It may not be true. I guess we'll still find that still remains to be seen, I guess. But seeing him contribute the way he's contributed, I'm excited to see what he can do the rest of the season because I think he's kind of been a staple there on the fourth line now.
Yeah, he's the anchor.
So the Blues play Columbus on Thursday. They start the 7-game homestand, which we talked about. Columbus is 4-4, and they sit in 5th place in the Metropolitan Division. They're 2-1 on the road. And their last game was a 4-1 loss versus Arizona, which is rather embarrassing.
Hard to do.
At home, yeah. There's a couple of things in the YouTube chat. Aaron Knox wants to know why he's now the apple juice guy. And Ray's like, and Ray answers for everybody, because we could hear you gulping.
He says, I'm more. Aaron responded with, I'm more than my apple juice.
I don't know about that. We'll see. That remains to be seen.
No, he's got a good hockey mind. I like Aaron. Aaron, I apologize for
Kidding. I was joking.
I apologize for not remembering your name because I'm just awful with names.
It was it Deanna that
Apple juice last week? Yeah. Where's your apple juice?
Yeah. Where's the
Had the bottle. You still had the bottle. So yeah, and Aaron Knox is not allowed in the show anymore. That's a joke too.
Always welcome.
The Blues social media fails this week.
Oh boy.
So yeah, there was a thing that happened on Twitter.
Was there?
Yeah, a little bit. So Jamie Rivers tweeted out, yes, former Blue Jamie Rivers. Okay, so fair is fair, right? If so, how many games does Ovechkin get for this hit? NHL has set the standard, so it'll be interesting to see what they do. He tweeted a video along with that text of Ovechkin dishing out a really great hit to Panthers Alexander Barkov. Textbook, fantastic hit. But this thread got stupid pretty quick, and it was a thread I was involved in. So I wanted to clarify a few things with this thread that apparently went, was not noticed by most.
First point, you were tweeting back at him from your mother's basement.
I was in his basement, which how he knew that I have no idea. He must have cameras or something or psychic. I don't know. But anyway, Rivers was trying to say that, with this comment, that nobody knows what the rules are for illegal hits because punishment by the NHL or lack thereof varies based on how big a star you are. So, which I don't disagree with at all. I think, that star players wouldn't get quite the suspension that other players get if they're suspended at all. That's a thing. But in this tweet, he posted the video of the Ovechkin hit. And Rivers was, of course, being sarcastic. He knew it was a clean hit, a beautiful hit. But he and his partner in crime, Darren Kimball, have done this a number of times since the Wilson hit in preseason that they thought was legal and clean. They both said that. So they sarcastically cry and want the league to come down on someone after a 100% clean hit. And they talk about the clean hit, wanting the league to punish them because they think that, because the Wilson hit was clean, this one's clean. Nobody knows what the rules are, so let's punish everybody, whatever. So you don't have to play the NHL to know that the Wilson hit was a suspendable hit, but whatever. I thought that stuff was kind of getting old. They kept talking about it, so what I did was I responded to his tweet by saying as much. I said, if you want to complain about star players not getting punished as they should for illegal hits, then post those hits, and we'll talk about them. It doesn't make any sense to post clean hits and then sarcastically complain about it. That's stupid to me. I don't get that. If you have a clean hit, if you have a hit that Jamie Benn dishes out to somebody that should be, it's head principal point of contact, the league should look at it. Post that one. Don't post the textbook clean, beautiful hit by Ovechkin. I don't get it. So anyway, he didn't like what I said at all. I disagree with him. So he responded to me over a few tweets saying I'm a troll, lived in my mother's basement, said I wasn't a fan. I played Fortnite on PS4, all kinds of weird, childish, tired, keyboard, tough guy bullshit. So, and then he deleted his original tweet and then blocked me. So, but I just wanted to say that I didn't attack the guy. I didn't call him names. I had that done to me, and then he deleted his original tweet and then blocked me. So, but and then there was a couple of goofballs that came on and like
troll.
A couple of
one absolute troll.
Literally a troll. His picture was a troll. And you know what? You know what, Kurt? It wasn't only you that was suckered in. I got suckered in.
Yeah.
I started talking to the POS. And he kept egging me on. And finally you and I were texting back and forth, and I'm just like, what am I doing? Like, this is exactly textbook what is wrong with Twitter. And I'm letting this guy get to me. So I finally just called him out on it and said, hey man, I looked at your feed. I know exactly what you are. I'm sorry. This is on me for even responding to you. Yeah, just this is over. This is done.
Well,
that was it.
When you disagree with Jamie Rivers on Twitter about something, apparently he has to resort to the 12-year-old, 14-year-old comments about, oh, you must live in your mom's basement and play PS4 and Fortnite, and you're not a fan of the hockey at all, and you don't know anything at all. So that's what I got instead of actual hockey talk. So that was interesting, and then I got blocked, which is fine, because apparently you have to follow somebody or else you're a troll, if you comment with them. So, but that was that whole thing was ridiculous. It's almost embarrassing to talk about, but anyway.
But here we are.
And here we are. I just wanted to say that, because a couple people said to me later, it was like, oh, you're attacking Jim Rivers. I didn't attack anybody. I disagreed with him. My initial post might have been a little, I don't know,
snarky,
aggressive, snarky, yeah. But it wasn't. I didn't call him names or anything. I think I said I thought his stance on it was ridiculous. That was the extent of the level of my post. If it's against candor, if it's against best practice to call someone's opinion ridiculous, I was guilty of that, I guess. So did you want to talk about the Asylum post, Jeff?
Yeah, so for those who don't know what the Asylum is, you must be a new Blues fan, because it is where the crazy Blues fans like to hang out. That is the STL Today Forum Blues Talk. So this guy, in his post here, he even commented and said, that he's a longtime reader, first-time poster, and he said it's something about how he's been a fan of the team forever. So I'm guessing he's an older gentleman, which is great. Glad he's still a fan of the team, but some of his thoughts were just a little out there. So here's his thoughts on goaltending. As far as goaltenders out there, what do you think about a trade for Malcolm Subban? He would bring confidence. Mike Smith comes to mind, even though he's old, could be a bridge guy. Throw this out there. Would you trade our captain and Allen for Shattenkirk and Lundqvist? No. For a healthy scratch and a 37-year-old goaltender?
I would, as far as Lundqvist goes, great goaltender, but
in his day.
But again,
how comfortable?
What has he ever won, too? I mean,
well, and how comfortable would you be?
Into the finals.
Not
got a Vezina.
He has a Vezina. But he has no cups. So I mean,
how comfortable would you be with a Lundqvist Johnson pairing? I'm more comfortable with Allen Johnson. Just because Lundqvist is so old, and he's just old. I mean, look at him; he's too old.
Yeah,
how old is he?
But his contract is just so bad.
Yeah, his contract's is it $10 million a year?
Yeah,
it's bad.
9.5.
9.5. Yeah, it's up there. It's almost price level contract. It's not as long, but it's not. That's if I'm taking on a $10 million goalie, I'd take my chance with Price over Lundqvist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would consider a Lundqvist move if it was the right decision, the right move, but Pietrangelo and Allen for Shattenkirk, who has been a healthy scratch, and Henrik Lundqvist, and then a trade for Malcolm Subban, which maybe Subban's got it, But again, this isn't a team that's borderline playoffs or, you know, rebuilding. This is a team that expects to win now, and I don't think you can take a flyer on a guy like Malcolm Subban.
Yeah, I think you probably could.
Not
just because not for that package,
No.
not for Allen and Petrangelo. You don't go trading for Malcolm Subban and Nate Schmidt or wait, who's Vegas captain?
Is it Derek England?
Yeah,
Okay.
Derek England. Yeah, you don't make that trade, but
The guy from
if you find a
Jackass?
Dave England.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If-
Party Boy. That's Party Boy, right?
Oh, Dave England's not Party Boy. Different guy.
Ah, damn.
Dave England's the guy that can shit on command.
Oh, that's right. Yep. He was the one with the little toy car in the first one, right?
Yes, in the condom.
Oh, good lord.
Go ahead, Bill.
Whew.
I do not condone watching Jackass.
It's mindless bullshit fun.
No, if
Just like listening to Let's Go Blues Radio.
if you find a workable deal for Malcolm Subban, okay, but yeah, I don't think that long run Jake Allen's the answer here. Subban, you give the opportunity to develop, but yeah, I don't know. There's no good answer for the goaltending issue here right now.
I think I've been, a pretty big critic of Allen last season and a couple times this season for a couple goals. But I think I can honestly say for the most part this season, I think he's been okay. He's been all right. I haven't had a lot of problem with like the last couple, like the game against Winnipeg. I didn't find myself being upset at him at all that game, really. I mean, the one goal was kind of like
too deep in the net.
What the hell?
Right.
But that game wasn't on him.
Right.
So
no,
at all. And I feel weird having to say that every game, but that or whether it was or wasn't on him. But damn it, based on past couple of years, he's kind of brought that on himself.
So we got a couple more messages here in the YouTube chat. PS4 plus FIFA 19 equals smiley face. That's from LSGAE. Is that what we decided to call him last week?
Light, sound, geometry, analog, and electronics.
Yeah, that's a little long. And then Ray Stanford, I do love his comment here because I agree with him. I love that movie Trolls. Branch is my favorite.
I have not seen.
Branch was pretty awesome. Yeah, I think that was Justin Timberlake's character. I mean, I didn't see that movie. I'm a man and I drink beer and bang broads. But
is it more than one plural broads?
Shh, don't tell my wife. So then LCGAE says I was IP banned from the asylum 6 to 7 years ago. I can't troll the asylum anymore. There's a lot of people I've talked to that have been banned from there, actually.
Just use a proxy. You get back on.
There you go. Kurt will hook you up.
Free proxy.
And thank you, Ray Standifer. LOL, you just quoted Happy Gilmore.
Who's
Thank
that?
you. That was me. I did.
What'd you say?
He's old. He's just too old.
Right.
I couldn't believe you guys didn't get that.
I'm a movie quote guy. I missed it. Sorry.
For shame. For shame.
We're talking about stats and the Blues record with players in and out of the lineup. Did you verify that those numbers, Jeff, with Bouwmeester out of the lineup last 2 seasons?
I did not.
It was crazy last year how much better we were without him, and then this season too, up or 1-0. But
we should do that.
Anyway,
yeah, I'll do that now. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
What's the word?
Vamp. We must vamp.
We're vamping. We're vamping right now as Jeff looks up something. So we're gonna vamp more.
This is gonna take a while. You might want to actually move on to a topic.
There's some more topics in the some more comments in the YouTube chat. From LSGAE, I seen an asylum post. Come on. I seen a silent post said blow may be an alien's head. Could be true when blowout blues do better. What the is that? Are you like text to speech kind of speech to text kind of thing?
Or are you trying to prove why you got banned?
He also said I seen a stat. There's I seen again. I seen a stat. The Blues are way above 500 when Steen is out and plays better. I know Steen was out at the start of last season, and the Blues they won like all of them.
Right.
Steen was out.
Yeah.
But that was like the first 8 games or something like that. First 7 games.
I mean, the big one last year was Schwartz.
Yep. And he also posted an Asylum poster, broke down some stats showing Blues are way better when Steen is out injured. Okay. He also says, so maybe Bo is Alien's head too. What does that mean?
I don't know.
I think our next show is going to maybe be on the 30th. I don't think we're going to do a show on the Halloween.
No, we're not going to do a show on Halloween.
No. So maybe Tuesday the 30th. If not, then maybe there won't be a show next week.
Yeah.
Either Tuesday or Wednesday. Either Tuesday or probably no show because Tuesday of next week is, let's see, we've got, there's no game Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. There's a game on Thursday. So yeah.
Tuesday or bust.
Tuesday or bust next week. So look for an announcement for possibly Tuesday next week. Tuesday the 30th.
Do we need to continue vamping?
I can vamp some more.
Oh, this is going to take me a while because the Blues website just crashed.
Oh.
I'll tell you what, I'm just going to tweet that out. Follow me on Twitter at jponder94.
Yes. jponder94, and you can find out that info later.
Yeah. Apologies, I don't have that on the fly.
That's the most efficient way to do this.
It really is.
I guess that will do it. We would open up the show, but we're running long again.
Yeah.
As
Like always.
As always.
Yeah.
So,
Jesus, it's after.
I blame Jay Bowmeister.
I blame Mike Van Ryn.
if they could have just held on to win in Winnipeg, we'd have had a lot shorter show.
Yep. We might not have done a show.
Yeah, I would say for me at least. Well, you guys can't do Mondays, but maybe Tuesday night be a good time for a show.
Yeah.
Even if we just want to make it shorter and just whatever. I think that's a good night for it. Wednesday, I would. I'm busy trick or treating by myself.
I'll be handing out candy on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll come to your neighborhood.
Okay.
And not to spoil any secrets here, but Jeff's costume every year is just underoos. Spider-Man underoos.
Do not come to my house.
You know what's hilarious? I almost want to just walk over and show you my actual costume because I do have a costume this year. I am going to be Spider-Man.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
My son's going to be Batman, and I figured, well, why not? I'll be a superhero too.
Are you going to go Batman, Spider-Man kind of thing? Batman, Spider-Man? Have you seen the video? Batman, Spider-Man?
No,
The web short series.
The web short series, Batman, Spider-Man. Look it up.
Yeah.
I will have to do that.
Kind of funny.
Pumpkin. Yes. And the show dies.
And the show dies. Aaron Knox says, not a keyboard warrior.
Is that a hashtag?
I think they're pretty mad that they were not opening it.
What do you want? You want us to open the show, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's been 2 hours.
It's been
If we open the show up, it's gonna be like 20 minutes at least.
At least.
I have to get up at 6 a.m.
We need to just start opening it earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe on Wednesdays I could do earlier. 8:30.
No, I'm saying we need to open the show earlier.
Oh. Or just not talk as much.
Yeah. Or
well, there you go.
Right. I started earlier too.
yeah.
So sorry. We'll try and do better next week. Open it up next week.
If we even have a show next week.
Right. Tuesday. We should, if we can, we'll do Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then the next week will probably be Wednesday again. So yeah, I'd say plan on Wednesdays unless it's a holiday or there's a late Blues game.
Right. Yeah, that's our goal is Wednesday seems to work best for everybody. Most times. All right, that'll do it for this week's episode of Let's Go Blues Radio. For Jeff Ponder and Bill Day, I'm Kurt Price. That will conclude this week's broadcast of Let's Go Blues Radio. Until next time, everyone. Let's go Blues.
Up the Reds.
Let's go Blues.
The Chiefs are at home tonight against Cyanosport at the War Memorial at 8. Good seats are still available.
A look at fourth.
I think that went very well.
Thank you for listening to Let's Go Blues Radio. Now take off, hosers.
Well, there's 90 minutes of your life you'll never get back. Sorry.
St. Louis Blues, St. Louis Blues. Have you heard the news about our St. Louis Blues? They've only just begun, they're on their way to number one. Now there's no more blues for our St. Louis Blues.